So the picture I've brought today is actually a picture of me when I was younger, and I've got like a microphone in my hand, and it's one of them pictures that like this image stays in my head. Like when I look at it, I got my hoodie on, my cap, hair out, like microphone in my hand. Anytime I kind of lose my way a bit or forget what I'm doing, forget who I am, I have this picture in my head, and it's like, nah, you was destined to do this, do you know what I mean? And like, I guess along the journey, you do get a little bit lost sometimes, and you forget your kind of core qualities and things about your character that are important. And every time I have like think about this image in my head, it just like reminds me of who I truly am, and I'm still that kid, do you know what I mean, deep down in my soul. And yeah, so it's very yeah, this picture's important to me. I think so, it was at my nan's house as well, so yeah, it's a really important picture to me. So growing up for me, so obviously from Wolverhampton, been here all my life. As a kid in like primary school, I grew up in an area called Long Knoll, which is in like Wentzfield. And that was just like, we had a great time, man. I can't like complain about my childhood. I grew up on the estate. I lived in the flats, and then the park was literally opposite the flat. So we would literally like cross the road, the park's there, and that's where we just hung out. All my friends were from like round the corner on the estate, and we were just out every single day, just causing chaos, doing, things that kids do. Well, not all kids, but we were little terrors, but we had a good time. And I think that's where like a lot of like my character was built. And although you're not consciously aware, but like subconsciously, like I was building who I was and all the characteristics that made me, that made Sophie. And just having that like tight group of friends that we were just all so similar. And I think being on an estate in a little area, and you kind of know everyone, everyone around knows you, you know everybody kind of thing as a kid. Then when you go to secondary school, you kind of open up and you're like, oh, there's a whole world out there. It's mad. So like I went to like Long Knoll Primary School. So literally I lived in the flats, park was there, school was there, everyone was just, a minute away. And then when I went to secondary school, I went to St Chad's, which was just up the road, but it seemed kind of far, like as a kid, do you know what I mean? Like, but it really isn't far. And it wasn't till I was about, I say like 15, when I actually started hanging out in Wolves, not just like your little areas, like actually going into the town centre, chilling by a depot and stuff like that. And that was because of my little sister. She's 2 years younger than me, but she was just out. She was out. And I remember one day she come round with her friends, and she was like, you should come out with us. And I was like, all right, okay. I was very shy, like I had like character, but I was very quiet, like, and Zoe and her friends just had these big characters, and I was just like, oh, I don't know if I can roll with these. Like, I'm just so shy, do you know what I mean? I just didn't know. And but I went out with her, and then from then, like literally, that was it. Then that was my kind of entry to Wolverhampton, like not just being in Long Knoll, not just being around like the area by my school. This was like Wolves now, and then I met just loads more people. Get told, oh, there's a party here, meet at depot, be there, and everyone was just there. And like again, this was new to me because there's just loads of people. Like people have asked me this, and every time I've answered, I think, nah, that's not right. And I've actually been thinking about it a lot more. Like my dad's a DJ, was a DJ in the 90s. So he was like a big drum and bass jungle DJ, Ned Ryder. People from the 90s will know about him. And he was always, anytime we was with him, he would always playing music, mixing, always, like never stopped like that. But that was drum and bass and jungle, and that wasn't, so I think the music was there. It was like in my mind. My mum was always playing music, different types of music. My nan and granddad as well, like they loved their 60s stuff. And so music was always like being played. We didn't live in like a house that like music was never on. I couldn't have imagined that. But I think for me, when I discovered that I could hold a note, like, my voice sounds good, like, do you know what I mean? I think it was when I started secondary school and I was introduced to new music, because I think growing up, obviously my dad, like, was the drum and bass jungle. My mum played a lot of like dance music, but then there was like a lot of pop. My nan and granddad like with the 60s stuff. But then when I went to secondary school, I was like introduced to like, that was when I got into like my R&B, so like Chris Brown, Ashanti, Sierra, them, Usher, that kind of vibe. I wasn't aware of that until secondary school. And when I started listening to that, I was like, okay, this is nice. Like, this is what I've been listening to prior. Like, this is very different, do you know what I mean? And I think, you know, obviously naturally singing along. And I think someone, if I remember rightly, I was around my friend's house and I was humming along to a song. And my friend turned to me and she said, like, you sound really good, you know, like your voice is really nice. And I was like, I'm just humming. She's like, yeah, but it sounds nice. You should sing. So I was like, okay, like how do we go about this? So I just started like singing more, just literally putting on music, pointing out speakers and singing along to it. I'd print out lyrics, sing along, learn the words and just sing. So I kind of realised I had a voice when I was about 13, 14. When we was in secondary school, I had a friend called Kyle, and I have not seen this guy for years, and I would love to see him to say thank you, because this is like a significant moment to the start of why I started put pen to paper and started writing songs, and I really love to see him. We was in science, I think, and he had his earphones in and on his phone, and he had a pad, a pen, writing. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I'm writing bars." I was like, what do you mean? What's that? Like, I didn't know what that meant. He said, oh, I'm writing bars. I said, like, what do you mean? Like, he said, I'm writing lyrics down to the. I was like, oh. He said, yeah, I'm an MC. I'm an MC. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I'm intrigued now because I'm like, I didn't know anyone that did this. Do you know what I mean? So he's showing me his bars, and he's writing to grime. And he was like, you should try it. I was like, okay, like, I don't know how to, but I think at this point, I did enjoy English. I enjoyed English a lot. So I knew how to, like, I love poetry. So he got me writing bars to these grime instrumentals, and I mean writing bars. I wasn't singing. I was writing bars. Like, it was mad. And from then, he started sending me like grime beats. I think it was a producer, Flukes, and there was this one beat, and it wasn't as grimy as the others. It had more of a soulful feel to it, and after writing with my friend at school, I then came away, got that beat, and I think we must had YouTube. It was either YouTube or LimeWire, whatever it was. Yeah, it might have been LimeWire still, because I'm not sure when YouTube came, but yeah. And I ended up writing a song to it. I wrote a verse, a chorus, 2 verses and a chorus. I remember my mum, we went to Lidl. Lidl had just opened. Lidl was a new thing. It was a brand new thing, but like it opened in the area. So in Long Knoll, there was most Scotland's, like, there was a Lidl opened, and my mum took us down because it was brand new. And you know the middle aisle, everyone knows about the middle aisle in Lidl. It's actually been there from the start. They had these MP3 players, and I seen this MP3 player, and I was like, yeah, I've got all these tunes on my computer on LimeWire now, and I want to put them on my MP3 so I can listen all the time now. So I asked my mum, I was like, please, can we have the? She was like, okay, yeah. I think it was like £25. She bought me and my sister an MP3 player, and on this MP3 player actually had like a microphone function, so you could record. So when I realised that you could record on there, that was it then. I was then like, record this song I'd done, everything was getting recorded now. So I was using the microphone on the MP3 as a mic, playing it out the computer speakers and recording tracks on there, whether it was covers, originals, whatever. But I was just using this. So that is like a mad significant moment as well, because if I hadn't have had the MP3 player, I wouldn't have been able to put stuff down and actually hear it back and show people. So that was a big moment, because from then I got the itch then to like be doing that more. Because I'd had that introduction to grime from my friend in school, I then listened to a lot of grime. That was my introduction to that. And then when YouTube was, I followed everything that was happening on YouTube. I followed it all. So when the like JDZ Media and P110 and stuff like that started, obviously I was watching all the GRM videos and that. I was very intrigued by the fact that like these people were online, like with visuals to their songs, or they were just spitting like freestyles and stuff. I was very intrigued by that because I thought, well, if they can do that, then I can do that surely. And I think that's when it was around about the time that I kind of started again. That's when I kind of was meeting people like Apostle, recorded with Curls, Webster. He was like one of the first people to take me studio from Full Force back in the day. I say back in the day, it's not that back in the day, but yeah, years ago. That's when I kind of met those guys. I think people had heard that I could sing, and I think because clips had gone round on some voice clip had gone round on MSN, I'm sure it had, and people was aware that I could sing, but I didn't have anything out. I didn't have anything, no demos, nothing, just these MP3 recordings, you know what I mean? And I remember like I'd be out like on a night out and people were like, oh, you singing? And I'm like, well, I know how to sing. They're like, sing for me. All right, okay. And at that time, like as shy as I was, I would just sing to people and it's mad now because I wouldn't do it now. But like, yeah, people say sing because I wanted them to know I could sing. But that went in my favour because then people wanted to take me studio and help me and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was from 18. That's when things started again, but properly, I guess, from there. From a young age, I played football. I was always into football. Still now, if there's a ball, I'll be kicking the ball. Like, it's just one of them things. So in primary school, I think from year 5, I was in so they didn't really have many girls' football teams. So I was the only girl in an all-boys football team from year 5. I think I had to stop in year 7 because there was a rule made that obviously boys and girls can't play together. But from year 5, I was playing football. In a team. I was playing like anyone in the area knew. Like I'd be out in my football boots and people were like, "What are you in your football boots?" Like, and I was just, because my dad used to buy me like the Total 90s, the Predators. Like I had like the sick football boots. I'd just be out in them. I just loved kicking ball. Like it was mad, and I was good. And I think because I was a girl, obviously, oh, you're sick, man, you're sick. Like because not many girls played football. There was a couple in the area. So yeah, in year 5, I got into the football team. And it was so sick. Like we went on tournaments and that. I remember like, was it Minehead, like Butlins and stuff, like to play football tournaments and that. And it was just this thing that I was the only girl. Like it was just mad. And I think people used to underestimate the fact that I was a girl. And when we'd play the teams, they'd try and like, shoulder barge me out of the way. And I'd be like, nah, like I'm cool, do you know what I mean? I can hold my own. I had trials for Wolves at 14. I think it was 14. I had these trials to get into the Wolves, and I did these trials, and I didn't get through. I didn't get picked, and from then, at that time, like now it would be very different, but at that time, that no just deflated me, and from then I just stopped. I just didn't continue, and football was like, I love music with all my heart. It saved me so many times in life, but football was what I wanted to do. Like that's what I wanted to do, and that moment of someone saying no, just knocked me totally, and I just stopped. From then, I didn't continue with it, and I even I didn't really watch football much anymore or stay up to date with things. And I used to have all the like football tops, and do you know what I mean? I had England tops, my full kits, my name on the back, everything. I was like one of them, do you know what I mean? Like loved football. And then from that day, from when I got like a no from them Wolves trials, I just stopped, and I didn't reconnect with football again until I was like, even like in like recent years. It's been like, I guess about 5 years ago, started watching football again and like going to the Wolves matches and stuff like that. And yeah, but yeah, it's mad because, like I said, if that was now, like no's now make me just more hungry to go again. Do you know what I mean? Because I understand it now. Music truly has been my saviour for the past, like, I've just turned 30, so like for the past 10 years, literally, it has been my saviour. It's been my, you know how people say you have a diary, and like, I don't know if people, like, when you was younger, you had a diary and you'd write all your thoughts and stuff in that. Like, music has been my diary. So mentally, mainly, for my mental, my emotions, when I was, I'd say about 19, 20, I think that's the main, yeah, that's when music really was like my crutch, really. I was going through a lot of just mental struggles. I think the biggest thing for me was my sexuality. That was a huge thing. I think when you know who you are deep down, but you're, like, for me, I was very scared to come out as a gay woman. Like, now it's cool, it's fine, do you know what I mean? I own who I am. But at the time, I think growing up, I didn't know many gay people. I don't think I knew anyone. I can't think, like, and so think the thought of coming out and nobody else is like you is a very scary thing. And it's something that I, like, hid for quite a long time, because I think I kind of knew from the age of like 15, 16, and I didn't, like, come out, as they say, till about 21. That's a long time to kind of be living a lie, pretty much living a lie. And that, suppressing that, like, for me, and I know everybody has their own, like, idea and form of idea about depression. I believe suppressing that, who I truly am, caused me a lot of depression and anxiety. I remember, like, and I say it in my songs, when you actually deep my lyrics, being stuck in my room, crying myself to sleep, like, just feeling very isolated, very lonely. It gets dark. It got dark. All down to fear of judgment, or thinking, oh, people ain't gonna want to chat to me no more. People ain't gonna want to be my friend if I come out as gay. Like, because there was a lot of like negative things that I'd heard just here and there, and I thought, nah, if I tell these people I like girls, like, now they're going to come at me, they're going to have bad things to say about me. I don't want, like, do you know what I mean? It was very scary. And although I was around great people, incredible people, and I still have the same friends now, that, do you know what I mean? I've always had the same friends, like, great people. It was just my own insecurity that, like, scared me of, like, no, I can't do this. There's no way I can tell these people this. There's no way I can tell my family. What on earth are they going to say? Do you know what I mean? And especially, like, being, like, obviously I've got my mum's side, my mum's white and my dad's black, like, coming from, like, the like, Jamaicans, like, are they going to accept this or not? Like, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of chat around, like, homosexuality, and I just thought, nah, this... And as a 17, 18-year-old, having that inside all the time was just a madness. Like, it caused major depression for me. I was just, don't get me wrong, I was enjoying life, I was doing my thing, I was out and about, I was, socialising, but when I was coming home, reality would hit, and it was dark. I remember avoiding going to sleep because I didn't want to, like, wake up with this heavy feeling. I was just crying a lot. My mum would be like, why are you crying? I just didn't want to, do you know what I mean? I just didn't want to talk. And music was although I wasn't speaking about it directly, I was speaking about emotions that were, I I was involved with people in secret and stuff like that. Nobody knew, and things were going on, as you do when you're seeing people and you're in relationships and these feelings and whatever's going on. These things were happening, but I couldn't talk to anybody about it because I hadn't like told them about my sexuality, and it was so heavy. So I was kind of like living a double life almost, but this one was real heavy, like, because I had to avoid certain conversations. I didn't want to speak about certain things. I was just, it was real heavy, and music was my outlet to get these things down and just let it all out. And that's why whatever happens with music, whether everything blows up and it goes incredibly well, like, it doesn't matter. Like, at this point, music is it's been my saviour. It saved me. It truly has. It really, really has. You know, it's been my outlet. It's been my safe space because there's no judgment there. And how could there be? Do you know what I mean? I put my words to the music, and that's where I let out my emotions and my thoughts and my feelings. And that's been a healing process, because I have had to heal, because, you know, there was this huge thing that I was suppressing for so long, and it affects you majorly, and that's where a lot of my kind of mental health problems came from. Just that depression, anxiety, just constantly questioning myself. Am I normal? Is this right? Should I, like, there's so many things that go through your head, and this is why I find it really important within my music to... Now, I'm not someone that's like, yes, I'm a gay female. That is who I am. But that doesn't define me as a person. There's a lot of people that it does matter to. And that's why when I'm making songs and stuff, when I first started writing songs, I was very conscious, like, although sometimes I knew I was talking about a female, there was no way on earth I would say she or her. Like, that wasn't a thing. And then I think as I became more confident in myself and more aware of the fact that, like, no, you need to speak your truth, because why are you avoiding that? Do you know what I mean? Now, like, if that song's about feet, you're gonna hear a her or a she, and you know what I mean. And there's so many people that appreciate that, because I know in the music industry, and I've heard things like when I first started, like, people were told, like, don't show your sexual, like, if you're gay, like, don't make that a thing because it could go against you, and that's mad to me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm never gonna, like, suppress who I am. Not now, like, that's mad. Like, if my sexuality, like, is a barrier to something, like, all right, then that ain't for me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not meant to be in that space. It is what it is. Luckily, I've been around good people like Apostle and Spotlight. That I've been around good people, but I know a lot of females have, like, experienced, like, going studio and it's all males and have been made to feel uncomfortable, and it shouldn't be like that. Like, this is a professional space. If this was a guy, you wouldn't be doing that to the, do you know what I mean? So just treat us like artists. Just because we're women, that doesn't mean that you need to try, you know what I mean? Like, we're here to create and we're here to work, so it should be kept like that. And I guess, I don't know if it's, I've never really, like, been able to tell if, like, it's a barrier as a female or a singer or just being from Wolves. I don't know. But, like, I feel like because we're so close to Birmingham, I feel like Wolves is overlooked a lot. And so there's been, you kind of have to, and I know everyone has to fight, I know everyone has to push, I know everyone has to work hard, but I think being from a smaller city, it's sometimes it's a little bit harder to get out of the city, and just finding those, because I guess if you don't know the contacts, if you don't know people, you know, I've had to figure things out over the last 10 years, and I didn't know what I was doing when I've started. I ask questions, I reach out to people, I email, I don't mind doing that, because I don't expect anyone to just tell me the thought, you know what I mean? You know, you've got to go and figure that things out. I think the biggest thing for Wolverhampton right now to do to make sure that we're heard and seen is, like, be consistent. Be consistent. We need to be dropping music regularly, because the talent in Wolverhampton is absolutely ridiculous. I think like, it's, and it always has been. It always has been. Like, from, like, back when grime was, like, popping here, like, more so. Do you know what I mean? And you had like Stay Fresh, like it's always been popping in Wolves. You've now got people like Essex, Scarlord just took off, and that to me is like they're from here. So why can't anybody else do that? Do you know what I mean? For me, looking at them too is just that's inspiring for me. Like so motivational. I do feel like I'm one of the females that like I have got to be someone that the younger people can look up to. That's why I work so hard. I work with young people every day. You know, I deliver music workshops. I help people, mentor them. Like there's a lot I do every single day. But as an artist, I need to be someone that's like, okay, these young people can see us like now, we're doing this and it's on us. It is on us. I believe Wolverhampton will get it shine, man. We deserve it. It would be crazy for it not to happen. Yes, I know we're right next to Birmingham, but that's two separate places, two very separate scenes. But there is so much talent here. It's ridiculous. Living freely is just so important. Why live with this weight on you when you can just let that go and just, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no need. If you've got good people around you, people that love you, then they won't mind. And those that do truly don't matter. Do you know what I mean? If people can't accept you for who you are, it's just, to me now, when I think now, it's just mad, like, why you would even care about someone's sexuality, really, because I'm not sure what relevance it has to that person's life. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't be a bother. It shouldn't be a bother. Like, it shouldn't be. For me, musically, next, I'm currently working on my second album. That is in motion. I think it's going to be 2023. I think it won't be this year. Definitely won't be this year. I'm not rushing it and I want to get it right. Like, I dropped my first album and I was really proud of that. It's still like, I mean, Escape, the single off there, I think it's like on like 500,000 streams now. And it's like, I never expected to see these kind of, do you know what I mean? And it's mad. But my first album, Soul Search, was just so, yeah. I loved the whole process of it, the making of it, everything that was around it. So I think that was 2019, so I feel ready to do this second album now, and dig some more, but kind of, yeah, more just honesty, depth, but just more fun as well. I feel like I want to have some more fun musically. Now, I don't so much use music as my therapy as such anymore, because I feel like I've got so much out. I'm in a great space now, do you know what I mean? I've got a lot of things out, so I want to have a lot more fun with this album, but still touch on things that I maybe haven't touched upon. So album is in the works, but for 2022, I want to be back on them stages, man. Like, since going through lockdown and as an artist and like performing like regularly, not being able to perform was just mad. Like, I even made myself think, oh, I don't think I mind about performing anymore, like, because I hadn't done it for so long. I was like, and then when I first got back on stage after lockdown, I was like, what was I on about, man? Like, I'm a performer, I'm an entertainer, I want to be on stage. So 2022 and moving forward, I want to be on stages. I want to be singing. 3 words that people would use to describe me is I think they'd say I am caring, I am silly, and I am determined. Misconceptions that people have about me. Oh, wow. I think sometimes... okay, this is hard. I thought I'd thought about it, but I hadn't. Misconceptions that I think people might have about me is that, I don't know, I always think that sometimes people think that they can't approach me, like, online or whatever, but I'm so, like, I chat to people, I love chatting to people, man, like, and I love helping people. So, yeah. I hope people don't think that, but I have a feeling people do, but it's definitely not the case. A song that represents me, I don't know if it fully represents me, but it's quite a song that's just, I'm going to say ABBA, Dancing Queen. It sounds random, yeah, but it's just a song. It's just like that tune, yeah. I can't fully explain. Yeah, I'm going to say ABBA, Dancing Queen.